have trouble deciding on something? What if I told you that can help? Hello, and welcome to tonight's insight. Alright, so today I'm mainly talking about truth testing, and which is muscle testing. If you're not aware of that, I will go more into depth about it. But what do you do when things in life become so uncertain that you're not sure of what's going to happen because of unknown factors, and because you can't really rely on other people? So sometimes you're going to have to bite the bullet, and you're going to have to make a decision. Not making a decision is actually making a decision. Choosing something. That is your decision. But as long as you have a clear vision of why you're not moving on something, or that you're deciding that, I'd rather wait, at least if you have a reason for doing it and you're 100% certain of the reason why you're following that course of action, you should be fine. But if you don't know and you're just doing it just because, you don't feel like you're making a decision, you're just in no man's land, in the in-between, the best way, alright, well, you got two options. First option is muscle testing, okay? So you can use muscle testing or a pendulum, which is basically the same thing. What do I mean by muscle testing? So muscle testing is basically listening to your body for an answer, because your body is always connected with your higher self, and you can be sure that your consciousness, or your super consciousness, is talking to you through muscle testing. But sometimes you can still be a little iffy on it, so you're not sure if that was your higher self or that was your ego. Those are two separate things, and you need to be able to hear the difference, or at least feel the difference. So, now before I move on to something else, muscle testing, alright, you can easily either use your index and your thumb, okay, and you say, superconscious, show me a yes. And you listen, and you are listening to your body. So sometimes you give them these two fingers, but then your body tells you some other finger, and you're like, okay. So what I mean to say is, you say, show me a yes, and you give them these two fingers alone. But then you feel the no in like your pinky, and the other one in your thumb, and it's like, what? I didn't even give you that option, but that's the way your superconscious decided to go, right? So that was muscle testing. Now, using a pendulum. Okay, so you take any necklace, anything that has a weight at the bottom. So you take something like, you can use a necklace, or you can use your keys, whatever, but you take something that is attached to something that you can hold on to, and that is on which that thing is dangling freely. Okay, so you hold the object and you ask a question, and even before that, I should specify, you should say, show me a yes, and then you look in what direction that object is swinging, and then you ask, show me a no, then you'll see in what direction the object is swinging, and then or you can ask, show me a maybe, and whatever other possibilities you want to give. And so you remember those differences, the way those different responses show up, and how the object will swing, and you ask the question, and then depending on the question you ask, the object will swing in that direction. Now, I say it's a lot like muscle testing because ultimately it is muscle testing. It's just that you don't listen to your muscles. You're looking at how something is swinging. But it's the same thing. Your body knows how to make what movement to do to give you that specific answer, if that makes sense. I hope it does. If not, ask questions and it'll be my pleasure to answer. Now, the other one that I was thinking of is you can ask God, or you can listen to your spirit team, and then you validate, depending on if you need validation or not. So you ask God, you get into communion with God, and you ask a question, right? And then you listen for the answer. You might take time to get it. It might happen immediately, or what have you. But whatever it is, you are going to get an answer. And this answer might be coming to you from your clairs. What do I mean by your clairs? Your different sixth senses. Okay, so you've got clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairolfaction, clairgustance, clairsentience, which is both touch and feeling, and claircognizance as well, if I haven't mentioned that. So depending on your intuitive style, you are going to get one of these 6, right? And what that'll have to do is paint a picture. Now, it might not happen overnight. You might need some time to get used to your clairs, which is completely fine. But once you get used to it, you'll be able to go in deeper and deeper and understand better what your spirit team is trying to tell you. Okay? Now, for validating what the answers that you're getting, if you're not sure if the answer is coming from God, or if you're not sure if it's coming from your spirit team, you can muscle test. Super simple. You can muscle test. And by the way, by doing it, you will start feeling like you'll know when. Well, first of all, if you don't like the answer, you're going to continuously ask the question, which is fine. It's normal. But at some point, you are going to realize that, hey, okay, either the answer is going to change because your spirit team is going to get a little annoyed, or you are going to get annoyed that you're not getting the answer you want. And so I very strongly suggest you talk to your superconscious. Now, your superconscious is the equivalent of your higher self. Okay? And one thing I can say, your higher self is going to be less annoyed with you than your spirit team, possibly. So, I highly suggest you talk to your superconscious more than your spirit team, right? Now, use this with a grain of salt, or take this with a grain of salt. If you want, it's going to depend on the type of answer you want. So be mindful of when you use these questions and for what reason. Also, remember that you only have one viewpoint, one perspective from which you are looking at your life, while as your superconscious has a bird's eye view of your life, has a bird's eye view of what's coming, has a bird's eye view of what happened, has a bird's eye view of everything. So your superconscious knows best. Even though your ego is like, no, but I want this, but I want this, but I want this. But the superconscious can see that the thing that you want will kind of put you in a ditch in 2 weeks' time. And it's telling you, don't go that route. But you're like, no, but I want it. But then when you fall in a ditch and your superconscious, see, I told you so. And you're like, dang. You know? So, I mean, there's one project I'm working on currently, or that I'm involved with currently, if you can say that. I mean, this project has lasted, we can say, a little, well, not a little, like a year and a half. And, I mean, you are going to get everything. Like, every single person is going to tell you, stop it, go somewhere else, do something else, like, get disenchanted, lose your interest, or whatever, right? But if you are continuously listening to God and listening to what your higher self is telling you, right, you are going to be much happier. Because it's at some point, the decision is going to be that thing that you are that you've put all your time and effort into. It's going to be their choice. And then if they choose something else, all right, then God is going to be like, okay, now it's time to put you on the right course, or on the right course towards what you want, or that thing that you previously wanted that really wasn't in your highest good is actually going to have a lot of issues because they were basically not listening to God and not listening to what their higher self was telling them. And so at some point, their higher self is going to hit them with a big ass mallet. You know, I just for fun, like, not, it's not really fun, but I sometimes say that my spirit team tried to make me listen when I was younger, like at 19, and I just didn't want to listen. So they sent me like sign after sign after sign after sign and after sign, and I was like, nope, I don't see nothing. But what happened, because I was like completely either oblivious or I didn't want to see, I got hit by a car. I mean, I'm just saying, there is a benefit to being able to listen to your spirit team. And that is why I constantly talk about opening your intuition, strengthening your intuition, and opening your modes of capturing information from your spirit team. Okay? So you need to be aware of your different styles. Okay, so clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairolfaction, clairgustance, claircognizance, clairsentience. You need to have these 6, at least you need to understand these 6, or what are your strongest ones. And by the way, these things can be worked upon or improved, or maybe like you can delve deeper into them. It's not like it's a one-time shot and that's it. No, your intuition is like a muscle. You can strengthen it. You can be more flexible in it and be more versatile in it. But you need to work on it. You need to work on what you have. Okay? So what do you think is your main intuitive style? And which one would you like to add on to your capabilities? Let me know.